What's up, guys? Welcome to a new day. I'm Stephanie Ryder, and this is the 365 Shares podcast. It's February 22nd, 2024, and today's topic is progress. The Big Red Book says each of us must make a sincere effort to make progress in the program, whether working on one or many compulsions or addictions. The passage in the Strengthening My Recovery book talks about how we sometimes stagnate when working programs. And if we find that we're not making more progress, if we find that we're sort of just going through the motions, we need to ask ourselves, do we need to work the steps? Do we need to take an inventory? Do we need to try a new meeting? Do we need to reach out to someone new? Do we need to try to give service in some way that we haven't been giving before? And I've seen this with people a lot in therapy as well. It's very easy to find a therapist and to go every week or every other week and just talk about your life, talk about your day. And therapists really only can give back what you give them. And I've done this myself as well. Like maybe I don't want to talk about something that I think is embarrassing or that is heavy that I know is going to be painful to deal with. So I just talk about like the little ticky-tack things in my life, coworkers, physical health, personal relationships. Just keep it sort of light, or even almost like intentionally redirect your therapist away from the things that you probably know you really should be working on, but you don't want to. So therapy really is what you make of it. And I feel like when I've been the most successful in therapy, it's when I really take the reins and almost use it as a self-guided study where I have an hour of office hours with a professor every week. And I say, here's what I've done. Here are my thoughts. What do you think? Let's do some EMDR, whatever the protocol is that we're working on, but really like doing a lot of my own work outside of it, like doing homework and having an action plan that I'm working toward and like goals. And if you're not in that place right now, that's totally fine. You might just view your therapist as a friend that you like to talk to every week. And that's totally great. You can view your therapist as a friend. And probably they treat you better than a lot of other people in your life. And that's great. But that's also their job. Their job is also to help you make progress. So try not to view it as just going and sitting and gossiping. I would do that once in a while with my therapist here. Like once in a while, I would sit and just do like a girl chat, like gossip dump. And she really loved it. I could tell because she would just be like smiling and engaged. And she loved to like hear all the juicy goss and just like me spill the tea. But I knew that that wasn't really what I was wanting to pay for, because I could do that with girlfriends if that's what I wanted to do. So I would just do it once in a while, kind of just as something fun to do. Maybe also because I just didn't feel like getting into something heavy. Maybe we'd been doing a lot of hard work and I was like, you know what, let's just have a fun one. But I was also aware that that was like $100 that I was spending to just have a gossip sesh. And that isn't really what I wanted to do and how I wanted to spend my time and my money. So it's up to you. Therapy can really be what you make of it. Also, people have different therapists for different things. I mean, there are people who have the old school, like if you watch old Woody Allen movies, people refer to they're talking to their analysts. And I always think of analysts as people who are entry level in a job, but analysts used to be what they called therapists, or they were like Freudian psychotherapists, and they would analyze you. And that typically was a relationship you'd have with someone for a really long time. But that's not always how therapy has to go now. You can see someone who's doing more body work, like somatic experiencing. You can see someone who's specifically targeting trauma recovery, doing EMDR. You can see someone who's either in a couple setting or an individual therapy setting, who's doing internal family systems therapy or attachment theory therapy, both of which are really amazing individually and for couples. So if you really have some hard stuff that you're trying to get through, if you really want to make a lot of progress, I say sort of take the buckshot approach and like have someone you just chit chat with sometimes, but also have someone who's really getting you into the meat of what you need to be working on. And ACA is the same thing. You really get out of the program what you put into it. So you can passively go to meetings either in person or online, and you can enjoy the honesty. You can enjoy being around people who are sharing similar experiences to what you've had. But if you really want to make the most progress, you work the steps, you do the worksheets in the book, you get the companion books that go along with it, like the Inner Child workbook. You find fellow travelers to go through it with you, and that is when you make the most progress. I'm Steph, and this is my share. I've talked a lot about my therapy journey just now, but in terms of progress, I also want to talk about this podcast. It's something that's really important to me that I've wanted to do for a long time. Obviously now everyone wants to do a podcast, so it's a little bit cliche, but it took me a long time to figure out what I really wanted to address in it. I think at some point I will move away from maybe the prompted readings like I'm doing now through ACA's Strengthening My Recovery book. But since I'm a newer podcaster and I'm still getting used to the whole process and talking about myself, talking about my ideas, it really helps me to have some structure around it. And because the affirmation book has a reading for every day, and we will actually have one for February 29th because it's leap year and it is in the book, which is exciting. But eventually I might change the format up, and I don't know if I'll do something every day for every year, but I like that this project is 365 shares, and it will actually be 366, like I said, because it's a leap year, and I'm making progress toward it. Every day is not mind-blowing. Every day is not even necessarily on time. I've gotten a little bit behind in the past couple of weeks just because I've been kind of tired, but I'm making progress. And so that's what I really want to focus on is the progress that I'm making. I'm getting more comfortable with talking, with editing, with putting myself out there. And I'm going to hopefully set up a website one of these days and share my information with some more friends and possibly even start to promote it at some point. So it's progress. It's not perfection. I'm going to keep working on it. And I'm hopeful that it will continue to be something that's therapeutic for me, which it has really been so far. And I'm hopeful that it's something that just benefits me and other people that are in the world, because this has all helped me. ACA has helped me. Therapy has helped me so much. Like, I can't even explain how much ACA has been beneficial to my life in the past year, year and a half. And I just want to share what I've learned. So thanks for listening.